All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your Smackdown review for March 8th, 2024. Outside of the main event segment, I thought the rest of the show sucked. Maybe I think the AJ Styles backstage or pre-taped clip was okay. 30 seconds maybe, but not a lot. Other than that, I thought the rest of the show just sucked. They moved some storylines along, but just wasn't a fan of it. I thought most of it was boring. All right, let's get to it. Show starts off with Logan Paul pretty much just rambling on about nothing like he always does, and then at the end of his little talking clip he says, or he reveals the Prime logo in the middle of the ring. Says it's going to be basically the main advertiser or brand for WWE in the middle of the ring for uh starting at WrestleMania at every pay-per-view or whatever. And he brings his friend out that's sitting in the front row, KSI or something, his business partner or whatever. And then Randy Orton's music hits. He gets out there. At first, he doesn't come out, and then a few seconds go by, and Logan Paul thinks he's not going to show up. And typical Randy snakes under the ring. He slithers out from into the ring, goes for the RKO on Logan Paul. Logan Paul pushes him off. His buddy KSI just stands in there. Couldn't he see him at the corner of his eye that Logan Paul was already out the ring? So he just stands there, and as Randy kneels up with an RKO. Then Randy sees that Logan Paul left this prime drink in the ring, so he decides to take a sip of it. So he says, "Oh, it's pretty good." I thought he was gonna drink the rest of it, but then he just spilled the rest on KSI. We dragged on to the prime logo in the middle of the ring. Thought that was hilarious. But yeah, looks like they're setting up a feud with Randy Orton and Logan Paul, WrestleMania. So hopefully we get a segment next week. Randy Orton on the mic to build up the feud, I guess, which I thought was gonna happen tonight, but didn't. All right, next up we got a tag team match. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton versus Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Fast forward to the end of the match. Randy Orton hits a pop-up RKO after Kevin Owens launched Austin Theory into the air for the win. After the match, Logan Paul he jumps KO on Randy Orton from behind, puts on his brass knucks, and then Randy Orton he grabs the brass knuckles and out of Logan Paul's hands and he puts them on his own hand. He goes to hit Logan Paul with the brass knuckles. Logan Paul moves out the way, and KO almost got hit, but Randy Orton froze, so he didn't hit him. He was about to, and then Randy Orton stopped, and that was pretty much it. And they just dabbed each other up. So that was it for that. Okay match, I guess. Don't see the point of Theory and Grayson Waller just doing nothing. I thought that weren't they teasing a breakup soon or whatever? Now Austin Theory just what was it at the Elimination Chamber? Just got his ass whooped, and Grayson Waller just watched. So they just kill that now. I don't know. All right, next up we got Bobby Lashley versus Karrion Kross. Lashley uh, tried to put Karrion Kross. He tried to run Karrion Kross into the metal pole outside. Scarlett was in the way, and then this distraction gave Kross some time, and then he punched Lashley in the back of the head. Go to commercials after the break. Kross nailed Lashley with the clothesline, sending him over the top rope to the outside. And back in the ring, Karrion Kross hit a Death Valley driver for a 2 count. And then out of nowhere, Authors of Pain show up and interfere in the match. Street Profits head out to the ring to fight off Authors of Pain. And then Lashley tries to do the Hurt Lock. Scarlett tries to interfere. Lashley knows what happened to him before, a low blow. So this time he's prepared for it. But then that BFAB girl shows up. She just slaps the shit out of Scarlett and then chases her to the back. And then what was it? Street Profits and Authors of Pain. They get into it in the ring. And then they're fighting on the outside. And then Authors of Pain get up first. They toss out Street Profits again. And then all three guys, AOP and Kross, jump Lashley to end the segment. So that was it for that. So looks like this thing is still gonna continue. I don't know how long. I'm just not feeling this feud. I don't see a point. It doesn't really matter, I think, who wins because I don't think this is gonna accomplish anything. Like, is the winner of the feud gonna like move on to another feud, or are these guys just gonna feud forever? Who knows? Well, Karrion Kross's crew should win since they're the new group, I guess. Or like he should be the guy that should be getting a push because Lashley's already a made guy. So yeah, Karrion Kross guy should win this feud, but who knows? Then we got a segment in the back, Dragon Lee with LDF. Santana pretty much says you're a wannabe Rey Mysterio. And Dragon Lee pushes Santos. And then Angel Garza, he pushes Dragon Lee to the ground. And then he's like, pretty much, I'll see you out there, whatever. Next up, we got a match with, oh yeah, and there was no Rey Mysterio tonight. So and they said he was going to be back next week. So hopefully we get a promo segment with Santos Escobar and Rey Mysterio to build that feud into WrestleMania, which I thought was going to happen tonight, but it didn't. Next up, we got Tiffany Stratton versus Michin. Tiffany wins. I didn't really care for this either. AJ Styles is pretty much a vignette. It says to LA Knight, you walk around like you own the place. You don't belong in the same locker room as me. You overachieved and you're under talented. And then he's like, yo, you try to take my spot because at at my expense or whatever. And then Ellen, so the segment's done. Ellen Knight's in the back watching this, and then he hits the TV with a chair. He's like, yeah, yeah. He knocks the TV to the ground, and he's still hitting the TV with the chair. So it looks like they should have a segment next week together in the ring, or maybe backstage or something. But I thought it was a good segment by AJ for like 20, 30 seconds he was on. Next up, we got Dragon Lee versus Garza. Dragon Lee wins the match, and then after the match, hold on, go to the pictures for it. After the match, they jumped him, Santos and LDF, and they pretty much whooped his ass. And that was it for that. Didn't really care for this match either. They're just building it because now Santos and his crew beat the crap out of one of Rey Mysterio's friends, Dragon Lee. So gives Rey Mysterio some more fuel for when he comes back next week. All right, main event segment time. We got The Rock, Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, and a walking clown emoji, Seth Rollins. Dude, what the hell is Seth wearing? He was wearing like a North Face dress or jacket or some shit. Like ridiculous. Oh, Roman Reigns says, greatness stands before you now. Dallas, Texas. And then him and The Rock shook hands, and he says, acknowledge us. Every time Roman Reigns has said that phrase, he usually says, acknowledge me. So this time he says, acknowledge us, because really, deep down inside, Roman views like other members of the bloodline like below him, beneath him. So this is the first time he says, acknowledge us, because The Rock's in the group now. So, because he views The Rock as an equal, right? And most view The Rock as like to have the table, tribal chief or whatever. So just teasing, their the feud for WrestleMania next year for the build up right there. That was the first clue in the segment. Cody Rhodes comes out next in the crowd, and then Seth Rollins comes out on the other side, so like a Shield entrance type of thing. They used to come out to the crowd during their matches and segments. Seth Rollins had like tape over his mouth or some shit, and he took the tape off and threw it into the crowd. And then security rushed out there. Man, these security guards are terrible, man. They were defending before the segment. They were out in front of Cody and Seth's locker room. Nick Aldis is trying to get in there. He's like, "Oh, they're gone." And he's asking like the head security guy, "Hey, they're gone. Where'd they go?" The guy's like, "I don't know." I mean, security members are terrible, man. I don't know if they're better or worse than AEW security members. Both trash. All right, so Yeah, so security's out there, and then it goes to commercial breaks. Why does every like the last 2, 3 weeks, every time Bloodline segment, it always goes to commercials, man. So stupid. Kind of ruins the segment. And most of this segment, the entrances took like half the time, so they were really only talking for like what 7, 8 minutes to end the segment. So we come back from commercial break. Security is out there outside the ring. Paul Heyman, Solo, Sikoa, and Jimmy Uso, they're all outside the ring. And then Cody grabs a mic. He says, "It's tense, lots of bad blood. The four of us should take a moment to feel this in Dallas, Texas." And then, so a few seconds go by, the crowd cheers and stuff, whatever. Cody says, "Do you have authority to make that stipulation, Rock? Because last week you did acknowledge Roman Reigns as the tribal chief." And then Rock grabs a mic, says, "Shut your mouth. Let the Rock drop some gospel. He acknowledged Roman as the tribal chief because that's what family does. That's the stakes. Again." Or he pretty much says the stakes, the stipulations again. And then you get the diarrhea chants, chanting diarrhea. Dude, if Seth Rollins came up with that, dude, somebody slap him, man. That's terrible writing. Or if the writers came up with that. Like, whose idea was that? That's the best comeback you got against The Rock? Diarrhea Dwayne. Dude, that's pathetic, man. You could have come up with something better than that. That's garbage, man. Ridiculous. And then Seth Rollins, while The Rock is talking, Seth Rollins grabs a mic. He says, "Will you shut the hell up, Mr. Midlife Crisis?" That was a good shot by Rollins. "You had your time." And then he says, "We accept." Roman Reigns grabs the mic. He's like, "You just gonna let him answer? Huh?" He finds this hilarious. Roman thinks it's amusing. You you must be from Texas. Dumb pop-ups. Says, "You must be from Texas. You're an idiot. When I beat you on WrestleMania on Sunday, you don't get another shot. Your story's over." And then Rock grabs a mic, pretty much says how he's on the board with TKO. He's like, he's your boss, and he points at Seth, and he's your boss, and he points at Cody. Says, "You run your mouth." When he said this, he pointed at Roman Reigns. So right there's more clues or hints. Fans are looking for that, whether indication that he's gonna screw up for Roman. So it's pretty much obvious now. They've been giving clues every week. But yeah, he said you ran your mouth. He pointed at Roman, and then he points back to Cody and Seth. And then he said you chant your chants. Your dad is looking down. You're the youngest of three. Your sister was a cheerleader for the Dallas Cowboys. I didn't even know that. So The Rock just said it there. Your brother is a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer. You're 20 years younger than your siblings. You know why? Because you were a mistake. That was a massive dagger by The Rock there. And then a few seconds go by. It looks like Cody's about to say something. He gets a mic. And then he says, "Forget it." And he just slaps the shit out The Rock. So he got his slap back pretty much a month later. Since The Rock slapped him at that Super Bowl week press conference at WrestleMania, the kickoff show, or whatever it was called. So Cody finally gets his revenge back on The Rock for that slap with his own slap. So yeah, that was pretty much it for SmackDown. There's nothing else to really care for besides this segment. And Rock's gonna be back next week. So we'll see what they're gonna do next week. Another Bloodline segment maybe, or maybe something else. Who knows? All right, so that was it for SmackDown. All right, last thing I want to talk about is Sting retiring. Thought the match was fine last week. Darby tried to make the match about himself by doing that stupid glass spot. It was ridiculous. The guy tried to kill himself during a damn match. But yeah, I like the during the Sting guys' entrance. They had like a video before his entrance of Sting like walking to the theater, He's like watching old clips and old highlights and photos and stuff in the theater by himself. And then it ends. He's like, it's the I forgot what he said. It was the last showtime or the final showtime. And then his entrance. And then his sons had the one of them was I think like one of his early gimmicks. I can't remember the name of it. Was it Surfer Sting or Blade Runner Sting? I can't remember. And then the other one was Wolfpack Sting. Thought that was dope. And then he came out with the entrance was the Seek and Destroy song by Metallica. Think he used it in was it trying to remember. I think he used it both WCW and TNA, or was it just one of them? I can't remember. Thought that was dope. I thought they would use this Crow song from WCW, but didn't mind Seek and Destroy. So thought that was cool. Match was fine. Didn't mind the match. That stupid spot by Darby Allin. I was like, oh, cool, no problem. Let's see what he says at the end. And then he's talking for 2 minutes, and then they cut the feed off, and then that was it. Dude, this is one of the biggest legends ever, man. And you cut his speech off in his final match. And I bet you most people were talking about Darby Allin's stupid spot through the glass instead of Sting's retirement that his career's done. So stupid, man. It's one of the biggest legends ever, man. And you don't even give him his time to like speak. They always go over on Dynamite like 5, 10 minutes. This pay-per-view was 4 hours and you couldn't even go a few more minutes for this for the icon, the legend, to let him say whatever he wants for how long, however long, 10, 15 minutes, how long the speech was. And then I saw the clip online after they went off the air. Got this moron Tony Khan. He gets the mic. It says, "This is the greatest pay-per-view ever. The greatest pay-per-view of all time." Like, what are you talking about, dude? Idiot. Most of the pay-per-views suck, dude. Only match was really care about was the retirement match of Sting, and then probably the triple threat with Samoa Joe, Swerve, and Hangman. That was it. Everything else was trash. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I wanted to say about Sting's retirement. Maybe one of his sons wants to wrestle, I guess. So who knows? He could train the if that doesn't happen, then I guess he can like train young wrestlers that are in the business now, get some guidance or some wisdom from him on how to be in this profession for like 20, 30 years. I think Sting did 30, 40 years. It's a long time, man. So congrats to Sting on a Hall of Fame career. That's pretty much it from what I wanted to say. I'll be back next week. See ya.